Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Brookings, like many communities in eastern South Dakota, is still cleaning up after last week's storm.
Crews are busy cutting up fallen trees and clearing trees and branches off the sides of the roads. They hope to have the city cleaned up by the end of the week.
We'll have a better idea to track our progress and how things are going. And as Mayor alluded to before, we do have a GIS tracker online where residents can actually see which percentage of the community has been cleaned up, and that's being updated in real time to show the progress that our crews are making throughout the community.
The mayor says only 2 or 3 buildings were destroyed in the storm. Meanwhile, a big donation is on its way to Castlewood to help people rebuild after a tornado ripped through town. First Premier Bank announced a relief fund and donated the first $50,000.
The company is challenging others to do the same. You can find out how to help on KELOLAND.com. First Premier's CEO says the company plans to help out Castlewood in even more ways in the coming weeks. Contractors are in high demand right now, so you should be on guard if just anyone shows up at your door uninvited. South Dakota's Consumer Protection Division says you should avoid being pressured into a quick agreement. Ask for proof of insurance and sales tax license.
Request a written contract and be cautious of cash-only terms, and do not make a full payment before the job is done correctly. If you have any concerns, you can contact the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Now let's send it over to meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center for a check of this morning's weather and a few storms out there today. Brian?
Yeah, a chance of some thunderstorms. We're watching, of course, where things will line up today, not nearly to the scale of what we had last week. Just want to be clear about that. But we've had some morning rain. We've even had numbers of over 3/10 of an inch in Brookings this morning. I've noticed some of the rain numbers coming in northwest of Huron are pretty good. Some local amounts over ½ an inch. Sioux Falls officially has had about 1/100th as of 7 this morning. But there could be some scattered thunderstorms later today. Now, when it comes to severe weather, again, we have to make sure we're getting this in the appropriate category and how to measure or gauge this later today. Your primary threat is some hail. Most of that's going to be Nebraska side of the border. Could see a few storms, though, on the South Dakota side between Sioux Falls and Sioux City. I'll have the latest analysis on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. With the summer season coming up, first responders are making sure they're ready to respond to a wildfire. On Friday, South Dakota's Wildland Fire Division conducted its Wildland Fire helicopter recertification with the South Dakota National Guard Aviation Unit. That allows Black Hawk helicopters to respond to fires.
Flight training will take place at the Hot Springs Airport. Aerial water delivery practice will be at the east end of Sheps Canyon, with helicopters dipping buckets into Angostura Reservoir. People are asked to stay away from these areas between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. A Sioux Falls man with a long history of drug crimes could spend the rest of his life in federal prison following 2 overdose deaths. On Friday, a federal jury found 53-year-old Jeffrey Moore guilty of giving 2 people deadly doses of fentanyl. The victims died in 2018 and 2019.
For each death, Moore faces a minimum of 20 years behind bars. The maximum sentence is life in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced in August. This isn't the first time Moore has been in the news. In 2003, a judge sentenced him to 10 years in the state penitentiary for selling cocaine. A Rapid City man will spend 2.5 years in federal prison for accidentally shooting and killing a man. According to court papers, Joshua Walking Eagle was playing horseshoes with the victim in May of 2020 in Rosebud when another man drove up and pointed a shotgun at them.
They stopped the game to confront the driver. Joshua Walking Eagle says he was trying to wrestle the gun away from the man when it went off, killing 48-year-old Lloyd Walking Eagle. After pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter, a judge sentenced Joshua Walking Eagle to 30 months behind bars.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
Okay, so the weather this morning, watching these scattered showers and thunderstorms. We've had a few more of those actually popping up here around Yankton and northeast Nebraska, so that's all ready to be considered here during the morning hours. But whatever flares up in the afternoon, again, we'll watch and see how these temperatures respond. The more 70s we have, the better shot that there will be a couple of thunderstorms here and there. And certainly looking after 4 or 5 in the afternoon, see that picture here on Futurecast. It does show up around Huron, maybe a thunderstorm there, and then also this target zone around Yankton, and then kind of spreading out from there south of Sioux Falls. Any one of those cells could be a bit on the strong to severe side for a segment of time. A lot of it's going to race south and then become more of a problem toward Omaha or Lincoln, Nebraska. They actually have a much higher chance of severe weather that direction. We'll kind of clear the decks tomorrow morning. I would say most of Wednesday's dry, but late in the day, if you're around Chamberlain and Winter, we're getting a few more clues about a cluster of some thunderstorms that might try to go there. And then eventually into Thursday, there's going to be a stronger cold front coming in. That's the one that's bringing all that chilly weather for the weekend. Remember that? Well, you have to also reconcile the fact that our going high on Thursday in Sioux Falls is at least 84. So, you know, there's going to be some clashing of the air masses, and then we're probably going to end up with some segments of storms that'll form here and then move east toward the Twin Cities and down to Des Moines. There'll be more to say about that later today and tomorrow, but I know many of you are extremely sensitive to any talk about a thunderstorm. That's the last thing you want to hear about, is more severe weather, but there could be some. And we'll be here in the Storm Center to walk you through the details. 73, that's our high today in Sioux Falls. 77 in Yankton. We're going to go with some 50s tonight. Again, I think a lot of the rain and the storm chances in the southeast will clear overnight. And then we're going to set the stage tomorrow to warm back up to 78, 84 on Thursday. Keep in mind those hail possibilities there with that late day front. And then we really drop. Wind out of the northwest and 60 on Friday. 58 Saturday. There will be some 30s. There will be 30s. I just don't know at this point how widespread any frost could be. That's really going to depend on the cloud cover. If we happen to luck out and get some clouds to come in here, that'll do us a lot of good. But I would hesitate right now to make that call yet in Aberdeen. You're definitely going to be cooler than Sioux Falls. So we'll say mid-30s right now. And it shouldn't be a terrible shock either. I mean, given the calendar date, we're still well within that zone to get frosty weather, although it's less likely now that you get into the third week of May. Here in central South Dakota, cool weekend, 60 on Saturday. We'll also call for more 30s in the hills, and that definitely looks more of a strong signal there with mid-30s Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning. Check out the latest coverage online at KELOLAND.com.